Welcome back, 7th grade. This week we're going to continue and finish up our unit talking about the kinds of sentences and what's found inside of sentences. And today we're going to look at those subjects and predicates and sentences that contain more than one, making the subject compound or the predicate compound. Lesson number 4, compound subjects and predicates. If you would please go to the top of your paper, put your first name and last name on the name blank. Put the number 7 in class and today's date, September 14th. Thank you. Looking at the definition, a sentence may have more than one simple subject or simple predicate. Two or more simple subjects that have the same predicate form a compound subject, such as Keisha or Alex. Keisha or Alex can fix that bike for you. This is a simple sentence, but it has a compound subject. Likewise, a compound predicate has two or more simple predicates, which we call verbs, that have the same subject. The simple predicates are connected by and, or but. Wasps, what do they do? Wasps drink, and they eat. Drink, eat. You're going to notice inside of these sentences that there is a separation in between those things that are simple subjects and simple predicates. So when we're going through our exercises, we want to be able to see the difference between those things which are subjects and those things that are predicates. Cross out the directions that are printed there, please. And in place of it, I'd like for you to write simple subject 1 line, simple predicate 2 lines, vertical line between the complete subject and the complete predicate, and then parentheses around the prepositional phrases. You don't need to be concerned about the color. I'm doing that because I had a couple of you who had sent me a message and said, you kind of sort of were understanding how to find it, but you were having a hard time visualizing or seeing it. So today I'm using a color code on my paper. I'm using blue for the 1 line, green for the 2 lines, and I'm using red for the prepositional phrases so that you can easily see the difference and where they're located according to the colors, okay? So I said I'm using blue, so Keisha, Alex. Green I'm using for 2 lines, can fix. Notice again this is compound. This is simply my predicate or my verb. And then if I have a prepositional phrase, I'm putting parentheses around the prepositional phrase. Again, on my paper, it's going to appear red. So these are the directions that we're going to be using. If you follow along with our sentences today, you use the lines to correspond with my colors. Blue is 1 line, green is 2 lines, and red is the parentheses around the prepositional phrases. I think you'll be able to understand maybe a little bit more clearly how these parts work together in the sentences. So sentence number 1. Sally and Mike, 1 line. Will lead, 2 lines. There is no prepositional phrase. Class, you're going to notice in most cases where the blue ends and the green begins is where I put my line. So draw a vertical line in between Mike and will lead. Sentence 2, spaghetti and manicotti were the restaurant's specialties. There is no prepositional phrase. Spaghetti, manicotti, simple subjects. Again, use 1 line. Were is the predicate. Again, notice where the blue ends and the green begins is where I draw my vertical line which separates between. So, class, going through our lesson today, we're having the opportunity to review everything we've had since the beginning of the year. And you're going to see how all of these are going to continue to build and work together. Sentence 3, one line people, two lines resisted. Notice this is one of those examples where the prepositional phrase comes in between. We remember when it comes in between that my line separating goes in front of the predicate. So in this case, one line goes in front of the green. Sentence number 4. Carpet wallpaper, underline once. Would brighten, underline twice. Put a line in between wallpaper and would. Class, today you're going to notice we have helping verbs that go along with the main verb. More of our sentences today will include words like will or words like would. Okay? So we want to be sure to take those along with the regular verb. 5. Prepositional phrase starts the sentence. Do you remember last week we were saying that if we had a prepositional phrase, sometimes it might be at the beginning of the sentence set apart by a comma? One line Simon, two lines Ashley. One line Simon, one line Ashley, two lines under practiced. Put a line in between Ashley and practiced. 6. The lucky quarter rolled and bounced down the steps. Quarter, two lines rolled, bounced, parentheses around down the steps. 7. Simple subject, pink, peach, two lines, will be, parentheses around of the bridesmaids' gowns. In our next two sentences, sentence 8 and sentence 9, I want you to take note. Look how many words are colored red in the sentence. If I'm able to identify the prepositional phrases in the sentences, it makes my work a lot easier. That's why we continue to review prepositional phrases. Clown, what did clown do? Sang, danced. Once again, because I have a prepositional phrase in between the simple subject and the simple predicate, I must put my line before sang, not after clown. Number 9, Lindsay Neal, underline once. Filled, underline twice. Two prepositional phrases and the sentence. Remember prepositional phrases, I'm putting parentheses around today. A reminder, my directions for today: underline the simple subject once, the simple predicate twice, put parentheses around the prepositional phrases and put a vertical line in between the complete subject and complete predicate, and when they're next to each other, it goes between the green and the blue on our screen. Sentence number 10, speaker hesitated. Now, you might be tempted to move on and say, hey, wait a second, there is no other word in the sentence, but I want to have you look carefully because I see a conjunction but. What did the speaker do? The speaker hesitated, and the speaker began. So 2 lines under hesitated and 2 lines under began. Line between, no prepositional phrase in sentence 10. Sleet or rain is predicted for the tri-state area tonight. Sleet, rain. I have a helping verb going with the main verb, underlined twice. Line in between rain and is, along with the prepositional phrase, parentheses around, for the tri-state area. Jake baked brownies and cooked pasta for the surprise party. Jake baked for the surprise party. As we noticed in the sentence before, there was a conjunction. Jake baked. I got to take note of this word, and. That's a conjunction, so there's going to be something else that Jake did. Jake baked and cooked. And talking with some of you last week, you said, yes, it's easier for me to do my prepositional phrases first because I know I can't use any of those words inside of the prepositional phrases for my subject or predicate. And you're absolutely correct. If that works for you, put your parentheses around first, like in number 13. I'm looking at my sentence first and I don't see a prepositional phrase. And that's helpful because here, notice there are 3 verbs. Mr. Lawson, once. Wrote, directed, produced, twice. Lastly, on this front side, engine sputtered. As we had listed before, I'm noticing that there is a conjunction, but. When I have these conjunctions, it signals that something else is going to be following. Sputtered, roared. To life is a prepositional phrase. If you need to be remembering these directions, you can take and you can put these directions on the top of the next page as we continue to work through the exercises. 15. The crowd called and waved to the 3 astronauts. As I noticed before, I do have a conjunction. What did the crowd do? They waved, but I still have another one that's here. Again, I need to read carefully to make certain I include all of them. Notice in this sentence, my prepositional phrase takes up almost half of my sentence. Once, twice, twice, parentheses. 16. Leave your jacket on the coat rack or hang it in the closet. Where's my subject? I don't see a subject. What about an imperative sentence? Pick up your room. Go to the store. Leave your brother alone. In an imperative sentence, I oftentimes have an implied subject. In this sentence, I don't see the subject, but the subject is you. Who should leave your jacket on the coat rack or hang it in the closet? You should. So even though I don't see it, my subject is you. What should you do? You should leave and you should hang on the coat rack, in the closet. Take a minute, please, and look at numbers 17 and 18. Underline what you think is the simple subject once, simple predicate twice, and put parentheses around any prepositional phrase. Numbers 17 and 18. I'll give you a minute to take a look at them, and then we'll see if you answered your responses correctly. Number 17. Simple subjects Claire and Sue once were listed twice. My sentence starts out with a prepositional phrase separated by a comma in the program and parentheses around before Scott. 18. Compound simple subject crocuses, daylilies. Helping verb would, grow, and no prepositional phrase. My takeaway from today is that sometimes subjects and predicates can be compound, which means there can be more than one. I want to look carefully and I want to identify those by making certain I pick out each one. The conjunction which is in between them is a clue that there's probably going to be more than one. You've already completed your assignment. Tomorrow, we will pick up and we'll continue to talk about compound subjects and compound predicates. There is no additional work for today. Have a great Monday.